Hello, good afternoon, welcome. Friday 22nd of May. I hope everybody is well. Beautiful day out, very sunny today, so hope you're having a good one. Just to update, I mentioned the last couple of days about one of the new apps, Couriers Today, and that I was having problems logging on. I had the same problems last night. I hate that facility where you can talk to people live on the app, but I asked the question and they answered it straight away. There was a glitch with the onboarding process that was going to be sorted out today, and I already see on my app updates that that's been done. So I'll have a look at it again over the weekend and let you know how we got on next week. But it does look like it's going to be quite not an arduous process, but an in-depth process, and that isn't necessarily a bad thing. But update that next week. I did say there was a topic I want to talk about, and I still do, and I'm going to intersperse it within today's work, because I think that will make sense. I hope what I'm going to say sort of makes sense. Slightly ironic, I just had a break a short while ago, and Dave from Anvil Courier Collective has done an update video, so it's nice to see Dave. He looks okay, looks well, and I'm not going to spoil his video. I'm not going to do that. I'm sure you guys and girls all watch Dave, and you will watch it over the weekend, and he'll update you at where he is. But some of what he's saying is relevant to me and what I'm also going to say, and I'm sure you can probably guess what I'm going to say. So I won a job yesterday afternoon. There wasn't a lot about for this morning, surprisingly, but there was a job came up from Chelmsford. Now Chelmsford's about 45 minutes from where I live. The wife wasn't working today, or she's working from home, so that was fine. And it was going to Margate in Kent on the coast. It was, and I didn't write this down stupidly, I think it was 87 miles, I believe. I put a price, it's a small van job, put a price of £110 on it. It is a shipper that's local to me, who I've mentioned it before, and I really do like working for him. He's a really nice guy. And I put a price of 110. He rang me straight away, said, yep, you can do that job, you've picked up there before. And he said there's 20 boxes, it's on a pallet, but we're going to take it off the pallet because it's going to a residential address. So I'm going to stick another tenner on, make it 120 for the handballing. And that's the sort of shipper, when you work with people like that, I could do that all day long, and I would never have any moans and groans. Collection was 8:30 to 9 o'clock. I have picked up there before. It is a small one-man band outfit, so I think when I got there before, he didn't turn up till about 8ish anyway. So I got there in the middle, 8:15. It was on site, and 20 odd boxes of various power tools and other tools to go off to meet a builder at a residential address. So I was away just after 8:30. Traffic was fine, nice leisurely drive down to Margate. It was just Cliftonville on the other side, the far side of Margate. Builder was there, lovely. Got there 10:30, and it was all done by 10:45. So now going on to the sort of topic I want to talk about. I've mentioned quite a few times now I'm having problems getting a second job or a third job of the day in the local vicinity of where I am. This week I've used the search facility. So when I was leaving Chelmsford, I've put Margate in the search facility, set it to be car to long wheelbase. No destination, I'm quite happy to go anywhere, and obviously looking for jobs today. Now it sort of worked for me on Monday I think it was, but I'm always slightly reticent to book a second job while I'm doing a job. I've explained this in the past. Things go wrong. You could have vehicle issues en route. You could find you turn up at the delivery address. I've had this before when I delivered to Birmingham. The client said, no, don't want it here, it's got to go to Hull. If you've got a reload or a second job booked in Birmingham, you've got yourself a problem. I've also had times where I've turned up and the goods are wrong, so they've been rejected and I've had to go back. And of course, I think the biggest thing, we've turned up, especially when we're meeting engineers, communication sites, bits and pieces like that, the guy isn't on site, there's nobody there to take the goods, and they've got to be returned. So I don't like booking a second job. Anyway, on this occasion, there was a job on the system between 9 and 10 collection from Ramsgate, which is about 5 or 6 miles down the coast from Margate, going to Woking. Now, I didn't bid on it because, again, I'm going to meet a builder at a residential address and things would go wrong. And I wasn't going to be empty, I reckon, till about 9:45, so I was probably going to be right on the limit of the collection time. So I'm half expecting by the time I get there and I get empty, the job's gone. Got to Margate, I delivered, cleared everything. I needed to get some diesel, so I popped into a garage to get some diesel. So it's now about 10 o'clock. That job has gone, but it's been reposted now for collection between 10 and 11. So therefore, nobody's bid on the job. And it was going to Woking in Surrey, long wheelbase, 93 miles. I put a price of £120 on it. That's not excessive. It's not cheap. We're told sometimes don't go cheap because shippers are not interested. Don't go too expensive because shippers will just laugh at it. And hopefully your feedback's decent as well, which is all important. My feedback is still 100%, 400 odd positive feedbacks. I didn't get the job. The job sat there for about 10-15 minutes, so I sat in the facility for 10-15 minutes, but the job then went, so I was unsuccessful. I decided to hang around in Margate for 15 minutes, no other work appearing on the system. The nearest job was Dartford, which was about 50 minutes away, maybe a bit longer. So I started making my way back out of Margate, back down towards the oh god, whatever it is that joins the A2. Apologies, I can't remember. Is it 399? Can't remember. And then I got onto that road, and just before the junction with the A2, I parked up in a lay-by, and there's still no work appearing. Nothing within 30 minutes. So what I decided to do, I decided to log off, uninstall the app, and reinstall it. I did all that. It took about 5 minutes. Switched it back on, logged in. Lo and behold, there's a job there from Ramsgate going to Hatfield. Small van job, 99 miles. I put a price of £100 on it, and I got a phone call straight away offering me the job, which I accepted. So, excuse me. So I made my way back to Ramsgate. I've been loaded up with 20 boxes that are going to a festival, and I'm currently making my way. I'm just on the A2, about to join the M2 on my way to Hatfield. Great, in a way, fantastic, no problem. Now this is my moan, whinge, etc. I think that CX is still a good system. I think it is value for money. Yes, I know we pay it up front, but it still works out under £10 a day. So I think it's good value for money. But where I'm getting the hump is this thing where jobs are not appearing. Now, I always thought it was me. I've had a couple of you guys and girls that have commented that you also have the same problem. And it really knocked it home a couple of weeks ago. James from Freddie Fletcher, who I think we all respect and listen to, he said, as a shipper's point of view, when he posts a job, he never sees any of the old guys. It's always the newer owner drivers to the CX that are bidding on his work. If he reposts the job or leaves it for about an hour, he then starts to see quotes from older drivers on the CX. And I know, we all know the algorithms can do this. The algorithms can do whatever they want the algorithms to do. But I think that is totally and utterly unacceptable. I know why they're probably doing it. They're probably doing it because the new guys come on and they get all this amount of work they see on the system and they think it's wonderful and they recommend it to a friend and the friend signs up and pays their fee. But I think if we're paying our money as well, then we should have a fair playing field. Now, what can I do about it? Probably not a lot. I'm going to the CX evening or a week Wednesday, the 3rd of June in Milton Keynes. Not something I would normally go to, and I'm not going because of this. I'm just going out of pure interest. But I will be able, I think, to nab face to face some of the CX technical guys And rather than asking this, raising a ticket and getting an answer on a phone, I want to look in someone's eyes when they're answering it, because that would tell me everything. Now also, I don't think, why should I have to uninstall and reinstall every time I've done a job in order to see work? So if there's a glitch on the system, absolutely fine. I'm sure they can work that out and rectify that. But if there isn't, then I don't think it's fair. And this leads me on to really what I wanted to talk about. I mentioned in January I've got to make decisions about my van, probably later in the year. I bought this van with about 15,000. I'm now at 153. The van is running fine. It's not flogged to death. It's driven sensibly. It's well maintained. It's serviced regularly and looked after. But things start to go wrong, so I possibly need to make a decision about changing a van, which is going to need an investment. And do I want to invest in a new van or a very, very newish second-hand van when I'm not getting an equal playing field? And that is something that's been bothering me a little bit lately. I like the job, I want to do the job. I love driving, I love transport. It's something I started off in initially. If I was 30 years younger, I'd do this job differently, or I would just go and buy some trucks and do class 1 work, European. That's probably what I'd go back to doing. I'm not motivated by money. I'm very lucky. My mortgage is done, and I certainly couldn't do this job if I had my mortgage that I had for 30 years. Not a chance. I wouldn't earn the money. My cab driving years was a very good job. It's the best job I've ever had. Financially, it was a very good job. I earned a very good living out of it. Not as good as some of my friends who went to work in the City of London and become brokers and dealers and various other jobs that paid 6-figure salaries. I've never earned a 6-figure salary, but I've earned a good salary being a cab driver. And then when I went to Arsenal, I probably pretty much earned on a regular basis the best money I've ever earned, and that was my dream job. And if I was motivated by money, I'd have gone back to driving a cab, or I'd have stayed at Arsenal. But I'm at a time in my life where I need to take it a little bit easier, but even so, I still want reward for what I do. And I feel if I can't have a level playing field, I'm not really being rewarded for what I do. I'm going out in the morning, doing a decent first job, and I'm getting a decent amount of money for it and doing a good service, and then the day is falling flat on its arse. And that is my concern I have, which I need to address over the forthcoming months. We've got some options coming up. I've got Same Day Network Courier. I don't look at that enough, to be fair, and I think I'm going to start looking at their work offerings maybe before I look at the CX. I'm going to look in more depth what they do. I'm on the HBC app, I've mentioned that. Their work levels I think have increased since they've become part of the DX group. I may be wrong, but it seems to me there's more jobs available on their app. I need to look at that in more detail. We've got Couriers Today starting up. I will have a look at that. And there's another one, Courier Bids. I tried City Sprint, didn't last very long with that. And there's apps like Speedy Freight have their own app, but I'm not sure on the finances of that. So there are other options, and I think I'm going to have to maybe start to look at those in a little bit more detail if I want to continue at the end of my 3rd year, which will be end of October. And that's from a financial point of view. I could probably chop the van in. Don't suppose I'll get a lot for it, maybe £6,000-7,000, maybe a bit more, I don't know, maybe a bit less. I've got no idea, not looked at it. I've always said that from day one it was a 5-year project. I lent the firm £35,000 to start. I put £600 back into a savings account every month. The plan being after 5 years that would total £36,000. That's my money back and £1,000 interest, plus whatever interest I earn from that savings account. And of course, the way I do it, the first year, or when I joined us, I paid the CX and the high and reward insurance up front, and then my daily expenses include putting money aside for the CX and the insurance. So when I get to the end of the year, I have the £2,500 or whatever it is for CX, and I'll have about the same amount for my hire and reward insurance. So come the end of year 5, I will also have another year 3, I'll have another £5,000 to throw in the pot. And of course my £600 means at the end of year 3, I've got £21,600 plus interest. So that's sort of 22 odd thousand, 5,000 I would save from not renewing my CX and insurance, and the value of the van pretty much close to 30 odd thousand, and I've got whatever few thousand, £4,000 or £5,000 in the company account anyway. So I could end it all at the end of year 3 and I'm back to square one. I've not lost anything and had 3 years work, and then maybe looking at doing something else. Not really what I want to do, but I'm very big on sort of morals and things done right. So yeah, that's where I am. And very similar to what Dave at Courier Collective, Anvil Courier Collective, has said today about the future and where he's looking. That's where I'm at and looking. I've got 5 months before the end of the year, and I might just be in a little sort of a, you know, bad headspace. But this 30-minute thing's been going on for a good couple of months now, and it's starting to niggle me a little bit, and I don't think it's fair, and I think it needs addressing. So that's my plan, is to speak to CX in a week and a half time. I've tipped them off because I think they do watch my videos. They may well contact me in due course. I've had a message from them in the past about something, so we'll see. But I will want to talk to them face to face and see what they come up with, because as always I will let you know what is said. Anyway, I've really rambled today, 17 minutes, so I do apologise, but I think it all needed to be said. So today's actually been a decent day in the end. I've got 120 for the job down to Margate and £100 for the job back, 220. I'm going to call it a day. I'm not going to be in Hatfield till about 3 o'clock, I think. I think the Dartford Tunnel's screwing again, as it would be on a bank holiday weekend coming. And I've got to meet some guys on site that are about 15 minutes behind me. So yeah, I'm going to do that and then call it a day, go home. I'm not working Tuesday, away Monday, back Tuesday, so I won't be working Tuesday. I will be back in the van on Wednesday. Have a lovely weekend. It looks like the weather's going to be good. Good luck to those football teams that have vital games. I am torn between who I want to go down out of Spurs and West Ham, so we'll leave it at that. Good luck to the teams that are in playoff finals. Even me, I've got to say, come on Hull City. Sorry Middlesbrough, I don't think you deserve to go up, but there we go. Have a lovely weekend all. We'll see you on Wednesday. Take care now. All the best. Cheers, Paul.